protest every ball that goes in.
Good afternoon and welcome to Blundell Park. That is what I usually say. And who could imagine after 2 years of struggling that Grimsby Town would have such a great season? Probably their greatest season for 40 years. And to talk me through some of the earlier games is the Grimsby Town coach, Peter Grossier. Peter, we started off the season with a few friendlies which was just the basic of trying to get the teams together, and then the real stuff started against Shrewsbury. Would you like to talk us on that one?
Yeah, as you say, the early games were important, with Chris Nicol coming and sorting a few new ideas out for the club. We started to get them right, and Shrewsbury came here, always a very difficult side to play against when they come away from home, because they sit back in numbers and hopefully get try for a draw. And the game was 0-0 at half time and a very boring game. And then Kevin Nicol come up and scored our goal for us and put us 1-0 in front. We should have won us the game. And then a boy McLaren picked the ball up just inside our half of the field. And from a shot from nowhere, he just lobbed it high in the air. Nigel come for it and it bounced over him into the net. Probably a mistake that Nigel will never forget, really. But it seems to happen to goalkeepers, and it happened to him. It doesn't happen very often. So in the end, really a disappointing result.
Well, after that it was away from the league, and we went away to York City in the Milk Cup, and we suffered our first defeat.
Yes, we did. We can look back now and say probably it was a good result for us. York getting promoted. I think they got over 100 points this season. And we go there, we battle away, and we get beat 2-1, Wilkinson scoring a goal for us. And in the end, as we'll see later on, it became a vital goal for us.
Yes, that's quite right, Peter. But then it was back to league action, and the game, of course, was in Wales against Cardiff, and we couldn't cover this game because it was shown on television in Cardiff, but we have got a couple of clips to show from it. And, well, it was a disappointing result, to say the least.
Yes, it was disappointing. After going in at half-time, 1-0 up, super goal really by Joe Waters. They come at us and we give away bad goals, and it was a very, very bad result for us. It took quite a bit of sorting out leading up to the following game, which we'll come on to. But overall, it was a very, very disappointing result for us.
Put out by Crombie. Empson. Empson to Wilkinson. Into the box, a chance. Oh! All right. Kevin Nicol opening the count. Back for the kick. McNally. And that's a goal. So we're into injury time in the first half without a goal being scored. Maybe we got one here. That was a beautiful goal too. If Joe Waters has scored it. Come on. And goal picked up by Bowden. Crawford. Good pass to Bennett. And maybe a chance. Sweeney took Owen. It's in. What a good goal. Bennett is in there. Hold it well. Look at this, the speed and pace and excitement. Owen is open. He could use him. Just too much, but it's a penalty. Gardner to take this penalty kick for Cardiff.
To the Leeds United match, Peter, which I must say that the FA did their own work from, the other seasons, because as you know, as a public and I friend to Leeds United fans. But everything turned out well for us, both on and off the pitch.
Yes, and a satisfying result it was for us as well. They curbed the hooliganism as well by making it an all-ticket game. which did reduce the crowd. But we put on a fine performance. Kevin Drinkle picking up a loose ball from a young Leeds United defender, and he really hit a superb ball from just outside the box into the top right-hand corner. And then in the second half, Joe wrapped it up with a penalty. And looking back on it now, probably was our best result of the season.
Newcastle United. Newcastle, of course, was one of the favourites to go up, one of the glamour teams, with, of course, KK himself. And we didn't do too badly.
No, that's right. Newcastle was the club everybody was talking about at the start, plenty of money. They came here with high hopes, and in the first half, Mickey Spates scored our goal for us from across from the right-hand side. And then, as you say, the man they were banking their hopes on this season probably done what he is good at, got onto a ball just inside the box and tucked it away into the corner of the net, and it ended up a draw. I didn't think they deserved the draw. We were far the better side, and the shirts they wore as well I thought was a disgrace.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I have never ever seen in my life any team playing a strip like that. I mean, it was just unbelievable, and of course, in the end, it was well, I thought they were very fortunate to get away with it, Pete.
Yes, they were. It was, I say, a good performance, and one that we really should have run out winners on.
Kevin Moore. Looks towards Wymark. Lays it down to Spates. To Drinkle, rather. Wymark out to Ford. Grimsby got 3 men up. Wymark's gone for it. There's Wymark. Flicks on. Spates! And it's a goal! Mickey Spates! A shocking ball by Waters, only as far as Wharton. McCrary. Now Grimsby could be caught. Keegan! Good, great goal by Keegan, but I'm sorry to say it was a Grimsby skipper who made the error.
The Newcastle game, it was back to the Milk Cup, and Grimsby were 2-1 down against York, and we were playing the second leg. And after 89 minutes, the result looked as if it was going to stop that way. But Peter, what drama?
Yeah, that's right. Very dreary and drab game. York came here and they defended well, and all credit to them. They were 2-1 up. And as we said earlier, promoted side, 100 points, so it was a difficult game for us, although we didn't realise it at the time. And then, as you say, 89 minutes, he's ticking away, the referee looking at his watch, and Kevin Drinkle pops up with a header, superb goal, to put us into extra time. And once again, Kevin Drinkle comes in again with another header to give us the winner. And looking back on this game again, we can see that that was a fine performance by us to get through to the next round.
Wilkinson coming out to Ford. Grimsby's last chance. Ford into the box. It's there, and it's a goal. Back. Looking towards Drinkle. Drinkle flicks onto Wilkinson. Out to Empson. Grimsby, 4 men in the box. Empson must get it in. And that was a kick from Nigel Batt. Headed on by Drinkle to Wilkinson, who laid it off to Paul Empson. Paul Empson cutting the area, jinx. Cross to Kevin Drinkle, who flips it past the goalkeeper. Grimsby Town 2, York City 0, 3-2 an aggregate.
Well, then we went on to away matches, Peter. As last season, we weren't very good on a travel whatsoever. And but at least we went to Middlesbrough and we got a point, and glad to bring Joe in on this because he was instrumental in getting the point for us. Would you like to give your thoughts on that game, Joe?
Yeah, an interesting game from our point of view because in that game we played particularly well. Again, as we were prone to do at that time, we gave the goal away. And went one down when we should have been 2 or 3 up. And again, it was missed chances from our point of view. But then we got a free kick, I think it was a minute before half time.
Right.
And I sent the goalkeeper the wrong way with a chip off one of their defenders.
Well, Peter, well, that was one of Joe's chips. I mean, you've seen him play golf. I mean, that was one of his typical chips. But the actual fact, it was a complete deflection, which goalkeepers of your calibre have no chance.
That's right. You look at it and in the end you say, yeah, it was an own goal.
Good goalkeeper stop then.
Yeah, but Joe's saying, no, actually it was a vital goal for us because all the lads that said afterwards that they could at last see a pattern appearing from the way we tried to set our stall out at the start of the season. And to have lost 1-0, you always look back and say, well, was it the right way to do it? But we equalised, got a result, and they all said what a good team performance it was.
Well, I was a bit concerned with the first goal, which I thought that we should have closed down to Gru, our first to Gru pick. And but I thought in the second half we really deserved the 2 points.
Yeah, that's right. He took a corner and the ball got played out, and he was left all on his own after the corner, after the ball had been cleared, and he crossed the ball and we went 1-0 down. But as we said, we've equalised, we put a good team performance on, and we've probably gone on from strength from there.
Segru with a corner. It's a poor corner by Segru. But he's got it back. The flag stays down. Cuts into the box. That's it. Hempson against Wood. Hempson cuts inside, beats Wood. Sprinkle, can't turn, taken down. Well, Nasser's pleading innocent, and I think Sprinkle made the best of it. But with 44 minutes gone, Middlesbrough 1, Grimsby Town 0, and this is a very dangerous situation for Middlesbrough. And it's in. It took a deflection. Well, Middlesbrough...
Of course, was Fulham at home, and Fulham was one of the super teams of last season. But they've been struggling a little bit. They certainly didn't struggle after 5 minutes.
No, it's again another one of those games against the run of play. We started off again like a house on fire, attacking them, and all of a sudden from a ball from right back, they went right through and scored. Davis, I think it was, it scored. And we're left again, to pull a goal back. From being in a position where we're dominating the game, setting it up for us to win the game, we've now got a hill to climb. Which it wasn't the first time this season we've had one. We managed to do it and got a good 2-1 win in the finish.
Peter, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, the boy Davis, in fact I think he was their leading goal scorer last year, scored lots of goals, and he really was struggling. And
this was his first goal, I think.
That's right, he caught us early on. We got caught square at the back and he scored his first goal of the season. But as Joe said, it was an uphill battle. We fought against it. Wilkie and Emo scored the goals and we went on to win the game 2-1. Which again, looking back overall, was another good performance.
onside. But it's a poor ball by Empson. Parker. And that was a great ball to Davis, who is onside. This must be the goal. It's there. And that is Davis's first goal for his club this season. Crombie pokes one into the box. A great save on the line. That should have been in, Pete. Yeah. Trinkle changes side to Waters. Got Ford on his right. Great ball by Waters. Ford, early ball. Wilkinson to goal. And that was tremendous. Yeah. Empson does well. Wilkinson must get it into the box. He has done. Ford. Back again. And it's a goal. And that is superb play. And that is Paul Empson's first goal. Cut out by Parker. Well, that's ridiculous. Well, not only is he a very brave man, but to do it to Chris Nicholl, he must be a daft man.
We were on the away travels again, and it was against our old enemies, Barnsley. But this match was really something controversial, I believe. Joe, you was really involved in it because we were 3-1 down before the game had actually started. Well, after an hour, we hadn't really played. 3-0 down. We got one back, and then, of course, came that decision.
Yeah. Well, the Barnsley game, especially in the first half of the game, we didn't play at all. We didn't perform. In the second half, we started to put things together, and we looked as if we were going to give them the game back. We started very well, but then from nowhere they got third goal. It seemed to do a thing. So we pulled one back, and then disgraceful decision by the referee. We were right through on goals. Paul Wilkinson, I think it was, and the referee, Paul only got a goalkeeper to beat, and the referee gives the foul against Barnsley, which was absolutely no use to us. Paul went down and stuck the ball in the back of the net, but he didn't give us the advantage at all.
And did you think that you would, I thought 3-1, and if that one had gone a minute later, would have made it 3-2, with half an hour to play. I thought we had them on the rack, at least the point was in sight.
Well, yeah, but, if you'd been at the game, you wouldn't have said, just because it was 2 goals in 2 minutes, if that one had stood. It was the 10-15 minutes before that.
Right.
But, we were dominating the game at that stage, and we got ourselves back to, 3-1 kind of thing. And if that had gone in, they would have been flat. They would have been killed stone dead.
Well, Vicky, you were sat on the bench, and how did you see it from there, because I believe Dave complained to the referee afterwards to apologise to him.
Yeah, that's right. The manager was very concerned about the performance of the referee, and after the game they both had words. And the referee did apologise for the decision that he made when we scored what should have been our second goal. But referees are that type of person. They have a hard job to do, and it just so happens that the decision he made was the wrong one, and it could have cost us really, I would think, a point in the end. But they had David Geddes playing for them on his debut for Villa, and he scored 2 goals. And as you say, we was on the rack probably for an hour of the game, and for half an hour we battled away. But really, all in all, I think you always make out of the game what you put into it, and for that first hour we probably got what we deserved, and it was an uphill fight all the way. But then again, the referee's decision didn't help us.
I agree on that, Peter. And also playing in that game for Barnsley was, of course, Tony Cunningham, who was later to feature a very controversial decision later on, which we'll be able to see.
David Geddes. Maguire. It'll go to Joyce. Joyce will probably sling one into the box. He's going forward. Great, and that's deflected. And that's an own goal by Crombie. Into the box by Wilt. Cooper misses it. Great save by Bax, but it was poor play by Neil Cooper. Turned well. Good turn by Joyce. Glavin, a great chance. This is a goal. Geddes, great goal by Barnsley. Joyce had made a good run. Good cross, and there was David Geddes to score his first goal for the club and gets it out to Emerson. Emerson causing trouble down this left flank. Emerson into the box, he must pull it back. Chance. Well, how that kept out, nobody knows. 3. Down the line towards Cunningham. Nichols struggling. Cunningham's past him. And it's a goal. Geddes, number 2. Barnsley's third. Wilkinson. Out to Emerson. Emerson into the box. That's the goal. Minutes gone. There's a chance. And the referee has blown. Now that is unbelievable. Now Waters is playing up hell with him. Now that is an absolutely, well, I'm used to it. It's a diabolical decision by the referee. How he can give a free kick when the Grimsby player was through, that is refereeing at its way.
Well, after the Barnsley match, we were away again once again to Manchester City, where for now we really didn't compete, but in the last half hour we gave a performance which was worthy of First Division. But unfortunately it didn't do us much good because we went down 2-1. Joe, would you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't disagree with the fact that we didn't compete for the first half, because we played well in the first half, we defended very well. Grimsby and Wilkie had a couple of chances early on that if we'd taken them, then they would have been rightly in trouble. But having said that, they played very well on the day as well, and they attacked us. We had a couple played off the line. And we went in at half-time confident that we were going to win the game in the second half. But we came out, and within 2 minutes of the start of the second half, we went the goal down to a very bad free kick on our point of view, from our point of view, because it was bad marking. Clayton came into the far post, and it was a tremendous header from him, but you've got to actually defend what they were doing at that particular time. Then we set about pulling it back, we equalised, Foran equalised, and then from a corner, Tommy scored from what looked an impossible angle between. He actually went in between the near post and the crossbar. We thought if he could do that every week, he'd be the one superstar. But from then we rallied again and had another goal. But we just couldn't seem to get that elusive equaliser.
Well, I said that I thought the last half hour we were really tremendous, Pete. And it must be disappointing to lose, especially with, they were really two bad goals that the defence gave away. But there was a light beginning to show.
Yeah, that's right. We started off right from the very beginning to play a certain pattern. And all of a sudden, as you say, the last 2 or 3 games, things had started to show a lot better. As Joe just said, they put on a very good performance that day. We've gone to a club that has just been relegated, First Division set up, and all in all we put on a fine performance. We wasn't disgraced, but we ran out losers 2-1. So as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't the result we wanted, but as you say, a pattern was starting to develop from our work early on in the season.
Into the box. That's a penalty. Good tackle by Spate. Stewart told me. Good play by the number 11. Gets it back to Davis. Turn into the box. Chance for City. Out by Nicholl. McNabb. Out by Bax. That was good attacking by City. Good defending by Grimsby. Power into the box. Crombie struggling, Tolmy. And the ball kept out brilliantly. Grimsby, absolute brilliant defending on the line. Tolmy. Free kick to City. McNabb. Into the box. Taken to go. Ford must cut inside. There's a gap open. Great save by Williams. Cooper tries to find Waters down the line. Waters and Caton. Waters into the box. Ford. A chance. Emerson. To go. It's a goal. Well, there was a terrible mix-up. Waters did tremendous. Just under 18 minutes left to play. City have got a free kick in a very dangerous situation. The town wall surely has got to go back. Caton with a kick. Tolmy. And well, the finishing was absolutely clinical. Empson. Great cross. Corner to Grimsby. That was a great cross by Empson. Williams did well to turn it round. The City fans are whistling for time, but this half didn't start till 4 o'clock. Ford. The chance for Nicholl. Craig. Coming. Is it pure ball straight? Wilkinson. Saved by Nicholl. Saved by Williams.
After the Huddersfield match, it was at home then to Brighton. Brighton relegated from the First Division, but also losing cup finalists against Manchester United after a replay. And Joe, really, to play a team that played in the cup final, it must have sent a little bit of shiver up you. But it didn't turn out that way, did it?
No, obviously, they were a useful side. They were unfortunate to get relegated, I think. They had a very good cup run. And they came to Grimsby after beating Charlton the week before 7-1. So it was always going to be a difficult game for us, but we set out on a very windy day, wet pitch. We set about the job, and to me, Brighton were never in the game. From the first goal, they never had, I don't think they had a serious attack on our goals at any time. They had 2 shots in the case, but there were some free kicks. Apart from that, Wilkie and Lundy ran, Eric Young, Braggage. I think they played with 4 across the back in a sweeper, but they were never in the game at all.
And of course, Paul Empson had a marvellous game against Ramsey.
Well, I felt sorry for Randy. It was his first game back after missing the cup final the previous year. And I think if he'd had his choice, then he wouldn't have played in that match. I think it finished his career, actually.
Oh, the sad sight. Peter, talking about the Brighton game, it's amazing to think, though, that Gordon Smith, who played in midfield, he could have... Brighton could have been in Europe if they had took that one away in the first match. And yet we won 5-0.
Yeah, that's right. Sitting full of stars, just come from a cup final, and it was a good performance by 5 goals to 0. Corrigan had just got in their goals come back from America. A good crowd pleaser. Really, that's all I'd like to say about the game. It's a good crowd pleaser. I wouldn't have said it was a marvellous performance by us, but even 5 goals, I suppose you could say, yeah, it was a tremendous game. But 5 goals to 0 against probably a really talented side.
And with the Fed facing the wind and the rain, the Ford takes the kick. Chance. Kevin Moore off the line to go. And it's shot for Wilkinson. Poor control by Connor. Speak. Good ball to Empson. Now Empson could have the legs of Ramsey. He has. He's easily got the legs of him. A great cross. Wilkinson. The goal! A great goal by Tony Ford. But the goal maker was Paul Empson. Howlett gets a lucky rebound. And the defence opens up. Now that was a bad free kick to give away by Waters. He took him from behind. There's no argument. Even though I think the referee's going on a bit. But it's in a very dangerous spot. This is where Jimmy Casey's shooting is well renowned for his. I think this must be a bit more serious than it looks. But I thought he was calling for a stretcher at first, but he seems to be all right. To the right of it. Casey's going to have a bang. Great save by back. The Grimsby defence was sliced open. Spate. Spate, a great ball. A chance for Grimsby. Takes a goal. For Wilkinson. But the credit must go once again to Mickey Spate. Waters a great ball to Empson. Empson a good cross. Wilkinson. And Corrigan was nowhere. Grimsby coming in hard. Case. But it's a poor ball by Case. Empson, a great chance now. Grimsby with two players up. With Empson on the ball. Waters joining in. Ford joining in. Wilkinson. Must be a goal. It is. And Gary Long scores. But that is down to Jimmy Case. Wilkinson after that huge kick from back. Empson. The goal! What a goal! Started by all people, Nigel Batt.
The Brighton game was home once again against Crystal Palace. And Joe, you scored in this one. Would you like to talk us through this one?
Yes, at this time we got ourselves sorted out. We were playing pretty well. And in that particular game, I scored after about, I think, 3 minutes. As we've done in the Brighton game, we scored pretty early as well. And it set us up to win again. Tony scored, Tony scored in the second half. Marvellous strike. But they were never in the game, and it was always only a Grimsby win.
The Palace game, it was a break from league action when Grimsby had taken 7 points from a possible 9, and it was Coventry in the second leg of the Milk Cup. The first leg has been a very dull, door game. But Joe, the second leg was anything but.
No, the second game was a complete opposite, in fact. Very exciting game. We took the game to them very early on. We could have possibly scored 2 or 3 goals in the first half. Equally, they attacked us. I think they hit the bar, hit the post. And in the finish, they went 1 up. And it looked like we were another mountain to climb. But Wilkie got a goal for us. In the second half, he equalised from a corner kick, I think it was, after the ball had bobbed about in the penalty area. And then, again against the run of play, they got the winner, or what proved to be the winner. So it looked as if it was going to go into extra time.
But of course, they ran out 2-1 winners. But the talking point of the old match was the sending off of Chris Mickle thing.
Yeah, the sending off incident, it actually started when We played them down here in the first leg, no goals. There was an incident with Chris and the lad, Gibson. Apparently there was a bit of spitting going on, and it's not one of Chris's favourite subjects, spitting. And then with possibly only a minute to go, Chris unnecessarily got involved with Gibson, and he got himself sent off. Quite unnecessarily. He had no need to do it, although after being so close and losing the game 2-1, obviously there was a lot of frustration. And he followed the lad probably half the length of the field and kicked him. And he got himself sent off, which means we were going to miss him later on in the season.
Play. But it's a very promising start by the Grimsby team. Singleton. Out by Ford. Jim does very well. Cuts a good ball back. Chance for Bennett. The goal! Well, after 9 minutes, Coventry take the lead. Leaves it for Crombie. Crombie, a good cross into the box. Trinkle to Ford, a chance. Porter screws it wide. Bennett cuts inside. Leaves it for Gin. Gin, good cross by Gin. It's a post. How by Bobby Cumming. Waters. Good ball to Bonnerman. Bonnerman, a great ball. Sprinkle, he must score. Osos Allardyce easily. Allardyce was very lucky not to be spoken to. Empson with a chance. And a great save by Avramovic. That was a magnificent move by the Grimsby team. 33 minutes gone. Coventry still leading by 1-0. Scored by Dave Bennett after 9 minutes. Grimes. Great save by Batch as he turns it round. Last minute of the first half. Grimes. A Singleton shot charged down. Bennett. Gin lays one inside. Good save by Gibson. Great save by Batt. Forward with a kick. And it's a goal. It's a goal. Bennett. There's a chance. It's a goal. Ashley Grimes. And Grimsby can count themselves very lucky to be 2-1 down. But that could be the killer goal. Grimes. And that must be a sending off. No option. He struck Chris Nicholl. Cummings, no chance of a foul. Bamber. And the referee has sent Nicholl off, and that is diabolical. The referee was looking to send Nicholl off.
Well, after going out to Coventry in the Milk Cup in a most disappointing way, because I thought it was a really very good performance, we travelled to the baseball ground, and for almost a year, Grimsby Town had travelled and never won. But this was to be our first win. Joe?
Yeah, again, it started off very disappointingly for us. We went one down to the Davison goal, I think, pretty early on. And again, we gave ourselves a job to do, but we managed to do it. But we played well on the day. We got 2 goals through Grimsby, and we fully deserved our win.
It must have been a relief. You know, the first away win for over a year.
Well, it was, because we specifically said that Derby was the game that we were going to win. We spoke about it all that week, and we said that we've never had a better chance to win a game. They'd lost a few games, they were having a bad time, and we felt that if we didn't win this one, then we were going to go a long while before we win an away match. And in the finish, it turned out a good win for us, and we celebrated in fine fashion in the Hinton on the way back, where we all stopped off for a drink.
Well, I needed the trade. And Peter, from the coaching side, it must be a great relief to get this under your belt, the first away win, and Drinky Renzi scored the 2 finest goals the world's ever seen.
Yeah, that's right. Just like winning, losing does become a habit. For almost a year we've gone to away ground, and we couldn't get the win that sometimes we did deserve. But as you say, it changed at Derby, going down early, and then Kevin Drinkle equalising with a long ball, flipped on by Mickey Spade. And Kevin said afterwards, he was in the box, just he was about to shoot, and he thought he was going to be brought down, and he was brought down, and the referee was about to give a penalty, and the ball goes into the net, and the referee gives it. Drinky thought he was going to stop the game for a penalty, but the ball's in the net, and he's given a goal. And then something that he said he's not particularly good at, he's turned on the ball on the edge of the box, swiveled his body, and we won the game 2-1. So going away from home and winning that one, yeah, an exceptional performance really.
Robertson. Fed one through. Emerson on the near post. Chris Nicholl and Kevin Moore up there. Waters coming for a short one. Must be a goal. And a shocking miss by Wilkinson. Seeking out Drinkle, who climbs well. Waters back to Drinkle. Must be a chance. It's a goal, I think. There seemed to be an hesitation. I thought the referee had blown up for handball against Drinkle. But with the Derby defence absolutely doing nothing, Drinkle rammed it into the net. To Crombie. Crombie looks towards Drinkle. Spate. And that was a great effort by Spate. Spate came in on the blind side. It was a wonderful left-footed shot. Spate. Drinkle. Great turn. To goal! And that was brilliant. That was magnificent goal scoring by Kevin Drinkle. Wilson. Great save by Back. Out by Ford.
Well, after Derby County was another away match, and it was away to Portsmouth. Portsmouth was to prove a bit of a thorn to Grimsby throughout the season. So this was our first encounter, and Joe, it wasn't very successful.
No, probably our worst performance of the season. Again, we started very badly. I always believe that you start a game properly, and we started from their kick-off. Batchley had to make a great save within 30 seconds of them kicking off, and for me that set a pattern for the game. The only time that the pattern of the game could have been altered was 0-0 when I put David Shearer through with the goalkeeper to beat. He shot over the top, Then they got their goals, went 2-0 up, and then the second half, same thing again. When we were pressing to get a goal back, they went through again, and unfortunately again ballooned the ball over the top. And they went on to score 2 more goals, and from our point of view, a very disappointing game.
Peter, I'd like to ask you, about a 4-0 defeat. Excuse me, as Joe says, you're 2-0 down, and then of course you've got to try and get one back, and you leave yourself exposed. Do you think the game should be played tight, or do you really think you could go hell for leather at them?
As Joe said early on, that the game set the pattern really by the save at 9 you have to make early on. And if you set your stall out the right way, right from the start of the game, hopefully it will carry all the way through. But always when you go goals behind, you tend to chase things and you lose your shape and you lose your pattern, which doesn't help matters, because you train and work all week on a certain thing to do, and if you try and change it halfway through a game, it doesn't help you one little bit. So really, if you do go goals down, then I would say, yeah, you stick to your same way, and hopefully it will come right for you, and maybe the goals will come, maybe they won't. But I think if you try and change the game halfway through, then I think you are into trouble. It's no good chasing it. You've got to work what you know is the right way to do it. You work all week and hope that in the end it will come round for you.
Well, in the finish it didn't come right for Grimsby, because we went down 4-0 with Haitley scoring 3, and it was David Shearer's debut that match. Not a very good debut for the lad. I was in Spain at the time, so I missed that match, and I also missed the Charlton game with Chris out, Joe. We was decided to play Trevor Wymark as centre half.
That's right. It's a position that Trevor has played in for us before successfully. And with that, we decided to play it that way. It's one of our better performances, but again, as we continuously did through the season, give people a goal start. We gave Charlton a goal start. Good shot from Robinson, which I felt that Nigel should have had it. It wasn't a tremendous shot. I felt he was capable of stopping it. But then we came back and won the game 2-1.
But Joe said to you, we gave him a goal start, and I was in the village pub in Benidorm, who are your sponsors, and we all thought, oh no, we're going to lose, but we was all proved wrong because we came back strongly.
Yeah, we did. It was an uphill battle again, as Joe said. We went a goal down. Trevor Wymark playing at centre half for us with Chris being out suspended, and he put on a superb display really. Even our old friend John Kirkby mentioned in the evening paper that he thought Wymark should be playing for England.
He thought Joe should have been at one time.
Yeah, well, he has been known to be wrong. Yeah, anyway, he said that Trevor should have been playing for England. I wouldn't have gone that far. But yeah, we come out and we won the game 2-1. In fact, Trevor got the winner for us. And from clawing our way back into a game again, another good performance. We won it 2-1.
Things were going well for us in the league, and the day I landed back in England, unfortunately we was away to Swansea, and there's no way the wife would take a trip up there. But unfortunately I missed a great performance, Joe.
Yeah, another game that we played well in, we won. We set our stall out to win the game again, because another team that was struggling. We felt that we had to beat these teams. Unfortunately, the goal was scored when Jimmy Rimmer was off the pitch, and it was controversial because Rimmer went off with an injury to his hand, inflicted by a tremendous shot by, I think it was our number 4.
Joe Waters, I believe.
Yeah, it was him that day. Cut his hand pretty badly, but he left the pitch with his goalkeeper's jersey on, and it took about 3 minutes for us to get his jersey back. And they were hoping that he'd be back that quickly, which a bit of gamesmanship on their point. But when the game eventually restarted, Kevin Moore scored for us, one of his rare goals, or his only rare goal this season. But we were never under any pressure at any time in that game. We won well.
Well, Peter, it's one goal, but it was still 3 points, and we were talking to Kevin Drinkle earlier, and he thought it was a really good team performance.
Yeah, that's right. It's always nice to hear from a striker when he says that he doesn't mind running the whole of the front line physically if the team puts in a performance like that. And he's probably quite right, although I think our centre forward should put his work in whatever game he plays in. But we've won the game, as I say, a rare goal from Kevin Moore, and we're on the winning trail again. We carry on, and more points hopefully we're in the bag.
Well, that left us with the last match in November, coming up to the December month towards Christmas, and we played Carlisle. Now, Carlisle are a very similar team to us, and Joe, you were very much involved in this. A draw.
Yep. Same old story again. 1-1 down in a game that we had no right to be losing, really. We played well on the day. Carlisle, a very difficult team to break down. Played with a sweeper, but with Drinky, I think, missed a couple of chances very early on that would have put the game beyond them completely. But again, we had to come back, and in the finish we got a penalty, and I was fortunate enough to score from it.
So it's Grimsby to kick off. Crombie. A great ball by Crombie. Drinkle. So to Grimsby. Waters. Back to Ford. Ford, a good cross into the box. Coming. Poskett. Hayes. There's a free header on the far post. There's a chance for Buckley to go. Hayes. Good ball to Poskett. Chance for Carlisle. Good skills by Poskett. Craig. Great save by Bat. And that was a tremendous shot from Drinkle. But what? And that was a foul in the box. Well, Hatchis has got away with it all the match. Drinkle has been complaining bitterly to the referee about Hatchis' pushing. And, well, it was once too often. So Grimsby have a chance to equalise. Joe Waters will take the kick, and he will put it to his left, the goalkeeper's right on the screen. Joe's theory, if you hit them right, they'll never stop them. Waters with a kick. It's there. That's my boy.
After the Carlisle match, Grimsby Town then went into the history book. Dean, it was our first game on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's right, Rolly. Different for everybody on a Sunday. Different setup completely to normal game. The week was thrown out a little bit, and it's an awful feeling to play on a Sunday.
You didn't like playing them. Yes, I remember talking to a lot of the lads after the match, and they couldn't get the feel of the game.
Yeah, it's different completely. The atmosphere was different. The game was different in actual fact itself. You know, I don't think anybody really wanted to play it.
But we still got a point out of it.
We got a good point out of it in the end, yeah. Still scored a good goal after coming on a substitute. And everything worked out well.
Brannigan. The great ball by Brannigan. And that's an incredible goal. Ford. Trying to get it to Cummins. And Cummins been held, and that's dreadful play. And that's justice. And
well, after the very creditable draw against Blackburn Rovers, it was a Tuesday night match, and our opponent, Oldham Athletic team.
Yes, Oldham, a difficult side. We beat them, I think, last year, drew away, and the game turned out rather easier than what we expected, with a 3-0 scoreline.
Yes, I was very disappointed in Oldham last week from last year.
They were a lot poorer than they were last year, yeah. Same sort of players, you know, same name players, but I think they've just gone a bit.
Ford cuts inside, good cross by Ford. Hooligan, and the ball's not out yet. Wymark, it is now, corner. Well, Kevin Moore's gone up. Chris Nicholl is joining him on the far side of the box for Ford's kick. And, well, the ball's off the line. I think it's him. I can't see him very well. Crombie. And must be a goal. And that, well, it was a magnificent cross from Crombie, but really, both came in on the blind side, but questions have got to be asking that Oldham box. Coming a very good ball to Ford. It's a good cross, Wymark. Oh, that's a great goal! Nicky Spate, that was a superb goal. Bobby come in, played an absolute delightful ball to Tony Ford. A great cross, which Trevor Wymark just failed to reach. And Nicky Spate coming in from behind, nodded it down and past the goalkeeper. Peter.
Yeah, it's twice now. Both fullbacks have been caught wrong side of their men. Perhaps they're pushing forward, he's not doing the right thing. But we were talking to Kevin Drinkle before the game, and he was saying, you watch how many crosses come into the box tonight. The way Mickey put that away, perhaps it don't matter if Drinkle isn't playing.
Henderson. Waters. Great ball to come in. Coming into the box. Gorham. Waters. How by Bowden. Grimsby Armstrong. Waters to Wymark. Lucky deflection. Oh, Wilkinson to Wymark. To Waters. Waters gets it to Ford. That was a great move, Pete. Crombie with a kick. It's a chance for Wymark. Wymark saw the back pass, intercepted, quick shot, and Gorham turns it for a corner. Pete.
Yeah, it was a good little movement. I thought Wilkie was fouled in the box. And, yeah, I think Trevor should have scored, though.
Ford. And Nicholl climbed very high there. Ward gets it to Palmer. Waters will bring him down. Well, there's some very strange non-refereeing decisions going on out there. Ford. Well, that would have been a magnificent goal. Tony Ford did absolutely tremendous. Inside to Wymark. Wymark to Waters. Got Cummings on his right. That took a ricochet. And he's there. But really, that was bad goalkeeping. Wilkinson gets a deserved goal. Empson on the right this time. Great cross by Empson. Oh, and Wilkinson should have headed it. Pete.
Yeah, he should have done a hell of a cross, and he's done everything right. He's only got to stick his nut on it, and he's tried to volley, and he's gone over the bar. Shame, really.
Well, after that great result against Oldham, the next match was, unfortunately, I couldn't get a cameraman brave enough to go down with me, and it's a pity because we missed probably Grimsby's best away performance of the season, Chelsea.
Yes, he did. The away performance was very creditable. We went 2 goals down early on, one of them a penalty against Kevin Moore, which was a bit harsh, but it tends to find that these sort of results go against your way. We fought back second half, realised we could win the game nearly at half time, and was in the dressing room. We went out and put 3 goals past them.
And everybody told me, Tony, as you know, a very modest young man indeed, he told me that's his greatest goal he's ever scored.
It was a fantastic goal, yeah. He sort of picked it up on the corner of the 18-yard line, and whether it flicked up or bobbled up, and he crashed it in the top corner of the far side of the goal. Superb.
Great result against Chelsea. The next game was against Total League side Sheffield Wednesday. It was Boxing Day, a big crowd, my 34th birthday, and where we missed Tony's great goal, we certainly didn't miss Paul Wilkins.
No, it was a good goal, Rory. Everybody's been expecting the game to be a good game. Everybody's been waiting for it, crowd, players, management alike, and it's turned out we haven't disappointed the fans and we've got a good victory.
I thought we absolutely ran Sheffield Wednesday off the field.
We did, yeah. Unfortunately I missed the game, but sat in the dugout, and the work that the lads put in was tremendous.
Chris Nicholl. And that's very bad defending by Grimsby. Brilliant tackle by Waters. Bannerman to Wymark. Lift into the box, out by Andy Moore. Sterling. Well, that was a great chance by Bannister. Allow Sterling to put in a good ball. That's a great ball by Cunningham. But it's offside. No, he hasn't. He's given a free kick. Ferrari inside. How's a great save by Back and Kevin Moore. Gets it out the forward. Wymark. Oh, magnificent play by Trevor Wymark. And that was class. Waters down the line towards Wymark, and it's a great ball. Wymark beats Chaitless and gets it through. Wilkinson! Couldn't get any power in the shot. Berardi. Good cross into the box. Out by Moore. Waters. Out to Wymark. Wymark to Waters. That's brilliant! What a goal! That is a goal of pure class. That was a foul on Wilkinson by Mick Lyons. Bonham with a magnificent pass. Forward. Into the box. Over the bar by Bonham. Ford. Ford go on his own. Wymark. Bonham. Still with Bonham. Over the bar by Wilkinson. Wilkinson. Well, gets it back to back, but it's not a good one. Now, Nigel Batch has been silly. I condemned Hodgson and I must condemn Nigel. Just over 10 minutes left. That's the kind of things that incites players. Well, I wouldn't say it's a miss of the season, but it's close. I describe it. For a shot, and it's Wymark hit the post, but it's a poor ball picked up by Smith. Head into the box. Head. Great save by Back. Back is playing silly again. Telling Back I think Phil's got a point. Just under 5 minutes, Megson. How by Wymark? How by Empson? Bonnerman! Beaten by Sale, the flag stopped down. Nickel. To Bonnerman. Bonnerman, a great ball. Ford. And that's... Oh, he should have scored. He should... Sterling into the box. Lyons is there. Nichols was pushing. Back. Magnificent. Was rather lucky. Chris was pushing.
Well, my guest today is Grimsby Town's leading goal scorer, Kevin Drinkle. Kevin, you missed most of the December series through injury, but you came back as substitute against Cambridge United. And in fact, the game changed when you came on.
Well, that's right. The lads had a great game against Sheffield Wednesday on the Saturday, and as so often happens when you play the big game, done well, you travel down to Loudon, Cambridge, where we got off to a terrible start early. I think we went 2-0 down.
That's right, yeah.
Before half time. Manager was a little bit disillusioned with the players at that time, and decided to put me on early into the second half. I take no credit for what happened afterwards, but we fought back into the game. Paul Empson got a good goal. Header, I think, quite unusual for Paul. And we were out on top then. Went to the last minute, I think it was, till we equalised. But the more the game was going, the more we got back into the game. And if it had gone another 5 minutes, I think we'd have won it.
Well, very fortunate draw against Cambridge United. It was back to Blundell Park, and we played a team that actually trounced us in the first encounter, Cardiff City. But we were to reverse it.
Yes, we do. We did actually play. It was early in the season once we played it.
3-1.
We beat us 3-1. Although I don't think we actually doubted in actual play. So they scored the goals on that day. We brought them back to Blundell Park. It was a very good team that day. Although a 1-0 result with it.
Yeah, that's all.
Didn't actually show that on paper, but we absolutely destroyed them. And probably could have been 10 or 11 goals easy. Could have put the chances in. But very good performance and 3 points in the back.
Beat. Referee says no penalty. Wymark flattened twice. And Wymark's offside. How the referee can adjudge a man to be on the deck to be offside is ridiculous. Coming. Towards Ford, down for Drinkle. I think they've got very short memories. And that went through everybody. Great flick by Wymark. Ford. Time up on the watch for the first half. Bennett. Throw to Grimsby. Coming. Into the area. Wymark. Busby, no! That was a magnificent brave save on the line by Smith. Nickel. Wymark. Chance. And that was absolute magnificent by Paul Empson. But so was the save by Dibble. And if that had gone, it would have been an own goal. Dave Bennett heart must have been in his mouth. Waters. That was a goal of absolute sheer class. I do feel for Cardiff. That was a cracking shot by Bonnerman, by Crombie. Just can't control it. Bonnerman. Well, it It was a great 1-2 with Empson and Drinkle. And Empson's final shot was taken around the post by Dibble.
Well, then came January the 2nd, 1984. And we played at one of the most beautiful grounds in the country, Graves Cottage.
As I remember it, it was Trevor Whitemark's last game, so
That's correct.
sad thing as far as I was concerned, because I always enjoyed playing with Trevor. Well, the game got off quite well. He was playing some very good football. Both sides knocking the ball about well. And they went away and scored. It knocked us back a little bit. Got back into the game. I think Tony Ford crossed a very good ball.
That's right.
I managed to get my toe on the end of it, and it rolled into the corner past the keeper.
Wasn't one of your super goals?
It looked quite good on the telly, I think, but actually I didn't connect with it too well. But the all counts.
And it's a good flick on. And it's a great save by Back. And we've got Houghton, Gale, Card to one side. I'm not ruling him out. Gale. And that's a great move. Off the line by Nicholl, but it was a great move by Fulham. Bonneman to Waters. Empson. Wymark, but it's not a good ball. Nicholl picks it up to Ford. Grimsby got 4 players moving forward, 5 with Bonneman joining. Cummins overlapping. Ford could use Cummins. Wymark. A very good effort there by Grimsby. Bonneman just past the post. This time, all the reinforcements aren't back. And that's a great ball to Coney. That's a penalty. And really, it was a silly penalty. Silly penalty because I don't think Coney would have kept that ball in play. Factors brought him down, which I said I thought was slightly foolish. And it's a penalty to Fulham, who can count themselves very fortunate. 36 minutes gone. It'll be Carr with a penalty kick. But Grimsby's right flank was sliced open. And it's Carr into the net. So Fulham after 36 minutes go 1-0 up. Bonneman. Good jink by Bonneman. And Bonneman, it's a great ball. Empson. Waters. And there's a chance for Drinkle. He should have done better. Wymark. Drinkle. Well, I thought he should have given it to Empson, and he gets it by a Fulham player. And it's a great cross. Still in play. Drinkle to goal. And, well, that was a really fortunate goal for Grimsby. Now, this is going to be very dangerous for Grimsby with its wind and the pitch and the rain. And that was a magnificent save by Back. Kevin Moore. Now, this could be a race. Now, Bonneman can lob. Surely the thing to do there was lob it. Now Scott's going on the line, which I think is intelligent thinking. Off the line by Cummins.
Was away to Shrewsbury at Gay Meadow, and it was quite a good performance.
I don't believe you had the cameras there that day.
No, they haven't got facilities at Shrewsbury.
Well, that's a shame actually, because it was probably the best away performance that the team put in probably 2 or 3 years. Yeah, absolutely played fantastic that day. This was 2-1 result doesn't sound very good. 2 very good goals we got, and very worthwhile game.
Result against Shrewsbury, it was home again to Malcolm Allison's Middlesbrough. Kevin, a 0-0 draw, very disappointing.
We built up a big game in the papers. It probably was a bad thing on the day. He's very good tactics in Malcolm, and I think he came down to Lumber Park to do a job. And all credit to him, really, it worked for him. we couldn't quite break down there. Had one or two chances, but altogether I think their tactics killed us that day.
Dave Booth telling me Crombie's got the best left foot in the town club apart from himself. Well, we'll see. There's a hell of a mix-up. Allen. Tim was fouling. Otto. Otto, but it's a poor ball. Crombie. That's a great ball by Crombie. Drinkle. We've got Kennedy there, but he lays it off to Natras. Great chance. Bonneman out to Ford. Waters making a good run on the right. Waters into the box. Must be Anderson. Well, that must be the best chance so far. Crombie. Wilkinson looks offside. There's a chance. Well, that must be the best chance of the match, Alan. Tries to get it to Waters. Corner to Grimsby. Very good play by the Grimsby skipper. Minutes gone. Forward with a corner. There really is some atmosphere here today at Blundell Park. Drinkle! And it was the big fella. Brilliant play by Bobby Cumming. That's a great ball. That was a brilliant ball by Cumming. That's a great save. Anderson.
Well, with me today is Tony Ford, and after a very dull draw against Middlesbrough, we had the match of the day cameras here, and it was Manchester City, Tony. How did you see that one?
It was built up to be a big game for the TV cameras and Manchester City going well. I think they were second, yeah. They were the team to beat, and unfortunately it was built up. I think it may have put a bit of pressure on us and built Manchester City team up to be well beaten. I think it was showing at the game, and maybe could have won there.
Well, it was a tale of two halves, so we wanted
yeah.
The City scored through Carl Lane, and then Wilkie equalised, and then we battered him in the second half.
We did. It was the same at Manchester as well. After the last 20 minutes, it was that often they had the ball out of their box twice, 3 times. It was good there.
Takes over. Forward in support. Williams saves. And it's in. Wilkinson. And that will give Grimsby hope.
Well, after a very creditable draw against Manchester City, possibly we won on points if it had been a boxing match. But the next one was a real big one, Tone, and it was to prove one of our finest hours in the second division. Newcastle United.
Yeah, it's been one of our finest defence hours anyway. That sort of team that if you take goal leading, then you know you're going to have to defend. They're very attacking side in this. And we scored in, I think, about 10th minute. And by then we just took pressure. We took it well.
Yeah, do you think Grimsby put us under a lot of pressure by scoring too quick?
No, not really. You can't really say you scored too quick in any game. To get in front at any time is definitely a good thing.
Well, I thought watching that game, I thought it was really a tremendous show. And I got the impression with about 10 minutes to go, Newcastle had just run out of ideas.
They had, I especially remember Kevin Keegan trying to do one or two of them to try and think of something new instead of just trying to get the ball in the box all the time. He was the good at their own break, if anything, near the end.
On his right. Beardsley cuts inside. Beardsley scored 2 goals last week against Portsmouth, and that's the reason why Grimsby have got to be very careful. And Drinkle.
Waters, the good ball. Wilkinson's onside. Just snatched at his shot. Forward with a throw. Waters. And that little handball against McCreary. There's a chance to go. And that was a terrible error in the Newcastle defence. It was absolutely caught square. The ball broke loose to Drinkle, who tapped it into an open net. Wadley's got Wharton coming across him. Wharton made a magnificent run. Beardsley. That's a great ball from Waddle. And a great tackle by Back. Clark. Keegan's left on the deck. Loader. Inside to Waddle. The Messiah is here. Listen to the crowd. Oh, the referee has finally stopped play. But really, to be fair, it was the Newcastle players who were keeping it in. They had as much chance as anybody to stick the ball out. And Nickel. Well, Nickel wanted the ball to run out. Keegan kept it in, and then Nickel brought him down. For 1 minute, I thought he was going to give a penalty. Keegan. And that was a fantastic save. Donovan. Wilkinson. Just past the post. Into the box. Back pushes it over for a corner. Nickel looks in disbelief. By Clark, save the day. Waddle. Cuts inside Waters. Keegan! And that's a foul. And that's another foul. In the first place, there's a foul on Back. Keegan literally kicked the ball out of his hand. Back on defence. Roder. Newcastle playing across the field. How by Nickel? Nickel. Free kick to Newcastle. In a very, very dangerous situation here for Grimsby. Now Keegan is going berserk. Keegan is going berserk. The referee had pulled the play back. The referee had pulled the play back when the man ran. The man ran through Beardsley, I believe, went through to score, but the referee had held play up. Now Keegan, he'd be lucky if it wasn't Kevin Keegan, he wouldn't have been booked. He's acting like a spoiled brat. Keegan knew that the referee had not blown for the free kick to be taken. Grimsby still a dangerous situation. Keegan. As Beardsley comes off it. Waddle. Waddle, a great ball. McDermott. Great save by Back. Superb goalkeeping. Keegan's made a good run. That through the back of the Grimsby defence. McDonald.
Remember that great result against Newcastle, which we showed at the inn on the park twice, and the crowd were really buzzing because on the Tuesday night we had to play Derby County. And as you well know, Tony, if we won that game, we went in the top three, which we did.
Yeah, that's right. It was a big change from Saturday. We were playing a team that was going very well on Saturday, and then we had to play a team that was really fine to the line. So we knew it would probably be, if anything, just a tight game.
But I remember most about the goals was a great one from Wilkie, into the far post.
Yeah, very good goal, yeah.
Of course, they equalised just before half time, and then that fantastic goal by Kevin.
Yeah, it was a great headed goal. Kevin directed really well. He'll always do that, don't you?
Great cross.
That's the cross.
All right. We'll have a look at that.
Empson. Now it's a 1 against 1. If he's got the pace, he cuts inside. Bonneman! And that was a cracking effort by Phil Bonneman. Ford's made a good run down the middle. Crombie spotted him. Ford did excellent. Empson. And that was a great effort there by Phil Bonneman again. Crombie in well. Gemmell. Still chies down. Come in a chance. Good save by Terry. And that looked very well, suspicious play by Watson. Good tackle by Paul Fulcher, but it's a great tackle by Crombie. Bonneman. Waters. Empson. Good play by Grimsby. Good build-up. Empson must get it into the box. Yes, and it's a marvellous goal. Paul Wilkinson. Unless Waters breaks off. Wilkinson. Ford. I thought for 1 minute the referee was pointing to the centre spot, but he was telling Terry to continue with the game. Watson. The goal. Garner. Burton. Gemmell back to Watson. That's offside against Davidson, but it's with Bonneman. Good play by the referee to allow play on. Ford. Chance to get his cross in. What a goal! And that is why Kevin Drenko is rated in the £300,000 class. Waters. Another chance. Drenko. It's the bar! And it's a goal kick. Up towards Drenko. And that was a magnificent job by Cummins. Terry, full length, did excellent to turn it around the post.
After the Derby match, we were in the top 3, and the next one was on our fellows again, and once again we were successful. Crystal Palace.
Yes, they were, at that time, I think they had a few injuries on that side. And they were struggling a little bit, and we knew we had to go and win there. If we wanted to prove ourselves worthy of a promotion place, we had to go and beat them. And we did 1-0, it was 1-0. We should have had maybe 3 or 4.
And did he try the goal?
The goal, remember, it's coming down the right, a long way down the right with Kevin Drinkle. He played a good ball into Paul Empson on the edge of the box, who looked like he was going to shoot. I managed to just make an overlap, just passed him into the box, and I scored the match 10 yards.
Cannon beaten by Drinkle. Drinkle, good ball, has Ford on his left. Chance for Grimsby. It's there. Brilliant. That's out by Jim Cannon, but only as far as to Ford, who gets another crack at it. And, well, that was a free header there for Kevin Moore, and he missed it completely. Waters, a good ball, back to Nickel. Drinkle. Oh, great 1-2. And Drinkle misses a chance of a lifetime. Bonneman. Out to Empson. Well, how that ball staying out of the Palace net, nobody knows. And there's Bonneman. To Waters. Waters, a great ball to Drinkle. And there's a chance for the Grimsby leading goal scorer. throw into Grimsby. Well, really, that's another golden chance wasted by Kevin Drinkle. Great play by Bonneman and Waters. And really, Kevin Drinkle, he rounded Wood, but couldn't control it.
Well, the next match was against Portsmouth, and Portsmouth has been a bit of a bogey side to us. And if we managed to get at least a point off Portsmouth, we would set up a new record. But, Johnny, things didn't turn out quite the way we planned.
No, it was a very good game. I think the spectators must have enjoyed every minute of that game. But unfortunately, I suppose it's where things started to go wrong.
Well, of course, we went 2-0 down very early on, didn't we?
And we got back to 2-0 just before our time. So it was really set for a very good second half for us. But unfortunately, they were the only team that came out playing, and we were fighting again.
So in the end, it was a very disappointing result.
Very disappointing.
Nicol is alongside Haitley, just outside the 6-yard box. Dillon will take the kick. Haitley's now moved towards the penalty spot, out by Ford. Doyle to Sullivan. Dillon. Well, Crombie waited for it. Chance, it's a goal. Well, after 4 minutes, Haitley has scored, but hesitation in the Grimsby defence. Doyle. Tries to find Bailey, but it should be easy for Kevin Moore. And that could be a goal. Well, that was terrible play. Pat. Kevin Moore. Great save by Knight. For Portsmouth 2. Drinkle. Waters. Good cross into the box by Waters. To goal! Coventry! Magnificent! Empton now. And the linesman flags down. Drinkle! Brilliant control. For Ford. It's there! Kevin Drinkle! Unselfishly! Last week he went to against Palace and missed. This week, with a magnificent piece of unselfish play, gives it to Ford. And what can you say now, Pat? Wilkinson. Waters to Wilkinson. To Ford. Good move. And it's the crossbar. What a great move. But he wasn't good at it. And here's a chance. Well, it was a follow-in by Kevin Moore. Barley headed on and Dillon ran from the back. And it was a good goal. Wilkinson slips. Drinkle. He can't get past three of them. McLaughlin. Bonneman. To Wilkinson. Drinkle. Yeah! And the linesman is flagged. It is no goal. To Kevin Moore. Ford. Get it out to Waters, to Cummins. Waters alongside of him. Wilkinson against Hazelwood. To goal! By Bobby Cummins! Well, I make it just under 2 minutes. Cummins, at the moment, the hero. Sullivan, as he got Haitley away. Looks for Bailey. That's it, 4-3. And that has got to be put down to Bobby Cummins.
Well, after the Portsmouth defeat, it was back to London again. And at one time, the game was in doubt, Tony, and they were talking about Charlton Athletics.
Yes, we weren't sure all the way through the week. We were told to prepare for the game, knowing the manager said it would definitely be a game, but we weren't really sure until the Thursday before we went.
And of course, what an exciting game it was.
Yeah, it was an exciting game. I think we let slip in our defence early. I think we scored 3 bad goals from our point of view.
Well, I thought the first one was a good one by Ale.
Yes, it was, but there was a bit of two ways between Kevin and Chris Nicklebow where Kevin wanted to be, but I think he could have stopped it.
And of course, the second one, Nigel will be dreaming about that one.
Yeah, there's 2 very bad defensive mistakes for their things as well.
And of course, you scored in that one.
Yes, scored the second goal. We climbed to all. I think 2-0 now.
That's right, yeah. And of course, Kevin came up with a last-minute equaliser.
Yes, he did. But the unfortunate thing is he scored 6 goals in 2 games and only took 1 point.
That's right.
This will go back to Hazelwood. Closed down by Waters. Back to Robinson. He's closed down by Crombie. But he gets past Crombie. A chance. And it's a goal. Now against the run of play, Derek Hales has put Charlton ahead. Beaten by Dowman. Robinson. Great ball through to Lee. Well, that's incredible. 51 minutes gone. There's a chance, it's a goal. It was so easy. And again, Dowman's gone with him. Ford must get it back in. Great play by Ford. Must be a chance here. Well, that's remarkable. Grimsby, 5 men up. Ford, out by Dickinson. Bonneman. Hazelwood. Well, this is an absolute cock-up. And it's a goal. Tries to get through to Ford, cut out by Dowman. Hales, a cheeky one. There's a chance. It's there. More or less time up on the watch. And it's a free kick to Grimsby. Ford. And it's a goal! And I think it was Mickey's fate. This is incredible.
Well, after the Charlton draw, it was back into Yorkshire and a very famous club, Leeds United.
Very famous club, yes. They've struggled the last few years, but when I think I've seen them since we played them, and they're beginning to pick up again now in the team. But again, I thought that when we went there, we should have definitely come out with something. It's all right. It's very easy to look back and say, well, we should have done this and should have done that. But you know yourself when just straight after the game, you know that we could have been.
Well, I remember they possibly had about 3 shots during the whole game. 2 absolute cracking goals and a great save by Nigel. And yet at one stage, we had about 4 shots kicked off the line.
That's right. The 2 goals scored were unstoppable and marvellous goals. There's no way you can sort of legislate the defensive play against that. So, but it was the fact that we were controlling the play so well around half time, and when we came out to the beginning of the second half, that we know we should have done the league.
Lorimer out towards Barnes. To Aspin. Chance here for Leeds. Out by Kevin Moore. Aspin. It's a great goal. 29 minutes gone. Leeds 1, Grimsby Town 0. Spate. Trinkle turns one inside to Wilkinson. That was surely a foul. And it was in the area. Waters. There. The goal. Grimsby with Empson. He's got Bonneman alongside of him. Trinkle. Well, they're lining up. Free kick against Trinkle. I can't believe it. Bonneman. Trinkle. Wilkinson. All lined up for shots, and not one of them got through. Chance to goal. Lorimer to Barnes. What a save by Back.
After the disappointing result at Ellen Road, it was another Yorkshire team, and it was Huddersfield Town. And it was funny, it was at Huddersfield where our great run started, Tony.
Yes, it was. They're a very surprised to be though, Huddersfield, and we knew we needed a win, because if we wanted to get back into the top 3, we knew we had to win. and hopefully win well, give ourselves a little bit of confidence. I think the score's 2-1.
That's right, it was a match of penalties, if I remember.
Yes, it was. But, I think in the end we look back and say it was a good result. We knew we had to win one, we definitely wanted that.
Did anybody volunteer to take the second penalty, did Joe?
No. That's his job.
Game. Ford aims towards Wilkinson, and that looked like a lay on to me, but Keith, I think it's one of those decisions that the referees give or don't give, but it's his hand definitely, but it's accidental, I thought. Well, I thought the tackle previously, you know, the push on Wilkinson looked more like a penalty. Yeah, I think you're right there, Rolly. Yeah, right, for one. Well, we'll see if Joe's right, and I'll tell you now, where is Joe going to put this ball? Wide. Well, he's going to put it to the goalkeeper's right hand, left on the television screen, and it's going to nestle in the back of that net. Anvey. Great save by the keeper. He's done well this season. Joe hit it well, but the keeper made a good save. Well, after 5 minutes, Waters misses a penalty, and his mind will surely go back to a few seasons ago when he did the same against Oldham, and that was a non-run draw, and Grimsby must get back on the track now. That was a golden chance that the Grimsby skippers wasted. Laws. That should be the goalkeepers. I'm just hoping that won't upset Waters' game, because he was so keen to do well today. Wilkinson flicks on. The chance for Ford. That's a goal. That's a penalty. That was definitely a penalty. Keith, what drama. Bloody hell. Ford did well there, didn't he? He got a great ball back into the box. Another penalty, bloody hell. How do you feel like taking this after missing that one just a minute? I think Joe just taking his stride. And I don't think he'll change his mind, you know, Keith. I think it'll be the same place. This is a test of character. Actually, Joe's hoping someone will change his mind, because he is Irish. Well, this is drama itself. Grimsby get 2 penalties in a minute. The first one, as we say, was doubtful, but there was no doubt in that one. That was definitely a penalty. And the only thing now is, will Joe change his mind? I don't think he will. That's it. That's my boy, Keith. Who did you say the referee was? Mr. Scales. Swaying in badly on us. Crombie into the box towards Wilkinson. There's a chance here, and it's a goal. Salutes the pontoon stand. Well, Keith, the pontoon stand was moaning about the free kick, and yet Grimsby has scored off it. Gets it out to Laws. Grimsby could be in trouble there. The 2 players went for the same ball. There's a chance for Lillis. That's a penalty. No argument there, Keith. No. Mark Lillis did well there. He knew the ball was going away from him, and he ran more or less into Kevin as he come across him, and he was a penalty, but Mark Lillis did well there. Well, there's a chance for Huddersfield. And Keith, what prediction are you going to make? Keith is right. Television left. Where's it been left? Same place as Joe. Yeah. Lower. Well, it's Jones with a kick. And once again, Mr. Anvey was wrong, and Jones was right. So it's Grimsby Town 2, Huddersfield Town 1.
Well, after the great result against Huddersfield Town, it was next away to Bratton and O'Haldian. And Joe, very disappointing result.
Very disappointing result from our point of view. Started badly first night, we got injured in the kickabout. Couldn't kick the ball properly, and I think it affected his game. Their 2 wingers who played very well on the day, and did to also like what we both, Tony and Paul, would do to theirs. 2 goals from Alan Young. and we never really countered in any way, and we looked to have lost it right from the start.
Jones aims towards Connor and Alan Young. Andy Moore struggling. But it should be Batches. And there's a great save by Batch. Good cross by Waters. Good header by Drinkle. And it's kept in by Empson. Ford with a chance. Penny. There's a chance. That's a goal. Alan Young. Smiley. Good cross by Smiley. And a great save by Batch. Case. Great save by Batch.
I think so, yes. Another brilliant save by Nigel, keeping Grimsby well in this game again. On a couple of occasions, certainly saved them today.
Well, it was, I think Ryan it was who did all the right things. Headed it down and Batch was on it like a flash. Case. Not that time.
It was a very tough performance against Brighton. It was back home against Grimsby's arch rivals, Barnsley.
Barnsley usually a physical side for Barnsley, and we knew we'd definitely have a fight. We went out, I think we played reasonably well. We pressed them quite a few times, for good time and first half, but never really made anything from it. And I think we began to look a little bit desperate for goal.
That's right, yeah.
And I can't remember how it came out. All I can remember is Paul Wilson lobbing the keeper, maybe a through ball, from the edge of the box. And that was probably our only really clear-cut chance.
And Geddes is fouling him all over. Ford. Good play by Ford out to Empson. Empson must take Joyce on. And he's past him. The crowd are roaring now, but his cross is a weak one. Ford. The ball's still in, and it's a corner. Bobby. Ronson inside. Good ball by Ronson. But it was very poor play by Glavin. And a great save by Batch. Law. He'll dig one. Out by Waters, and again by Waters. Campbell. He looked offside, but the flag stayed down. Geddes, a good header. Great save. I've got to know this ref thinks he is honest. A pure for handball, but it never was. Over the bar by Ford. Nickel. Waters gets it to Ford. Nickel to Waters. Waters a good ball to Ford. Good cross. Chance for Empson. Could have turned into something a little bit nasty. May flick that one on. There's a chance. That's it. And that was an absolute dreadful error.
Result against Barnsley if they don't want the game to Swansea City. And Kevin, your finest hour?
Well, I've taken quite a little bit of stick from the local press the previous evening. I think I've done 4 games without scoring, which, according to this report, was a disaster. Every transport will say that 4 games is nothing. So I went into the game with probably 1 or 2 things to prove.
And you was also received the player of the month for March.
Yes, I think I'm the only player who's gone out there to receive that certain award and been booed.
But you answered them.
Well, you've got to try it. I mean, as it happened, things went well for me on that day. And after 4 minutes, 5 minutes or something, Tony took a corner. I met it very well and it shot straight into the net.
A superb goal, I said one, yeah.
Well, I'm especially quite good at my head and it's nice to occasionally prove people right.
Yeah.
The game went from there. It was a drab game, really. One that we should have taken control of and probably won about 10-0.
Crombie up towards Drinkle. Ford's in on the back. Out by McQuillan for a corner. First corner of the game. Forward with a kick. Nicol is up there. Goes Kevin Moore. That's aimed at a great goal. That is superb. Wilkinson. And a great effort again by young Paul Wilkinson. Marusik, but it's beaten by Kevin Moore. Ford and McQuillan. Ford beats him. And that's a great cross. Oh my word. Tony Ford must feel very disappointed. But he must give it to Crombie, doesn't he? Gives it to Bonneman. Shearer. Drinkle. That's number 2. And it was all from a mistake. Well, it was inevitable. Robinson will have another go. Under 3 minutes remaining. Crombie. That was a good cross, and it's a goal. Kevin Drinkle.
That great individual performance by Kevin Drinkle against Swansea City. Grimsby Town then had to face probably their hardest match of the season. It was away to Sheffield Wednesday team.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, runaway leaders of the league. We went there, no fears about them at all really. And on the day, we proved they're equal.
And then space. Hoisting it forward. Emerson is coming in from the far side ahead of Sterland. In fact, he lost him. And Emerson had a chance to put Grimsby Town in front against the run of play. And Megson short to Shelton. And oh, there's a shot off the post. Goodness me. Heather and Cunningham closing. And Moore, did he hold him? The referee says penalty. Cunningham went down under challenge from Kevin Moore, who feels aggrieved. He's looked across at the linesman, but the officials have no doubt, and they've awarded Sheffield Wednesday a penalty with about a quarter of an hour left. Now, Mel Sterland, who scored from the spot for the under-21s on Wednesday night at Main Road, and has had quite a week, takes the responsibility now against Nigel Back, who's waving his arms up and down on the line. And Sterling scores. A good effort by the goalkeeper. He went the right way.
Well, after the very disappointing result against Sheffield Wednesday, it was home again to my least favourite team of the second division, Cambridge United.
Yeah, Cambridge done well to stay in the second division for as long as they have really. They came to our place not having won a game for 30 odd matches.
That's right. If we beat them, it'd have been a record of the team going the longest without winning.
Yeah, well, it proved on the day that we didn't play well, and they got a point out of the match.
And the record.
And the record, yeah.
Disappointing result against Cambridge United. Grimsby then went on a travel to Carlisle. And Kevin, you scored many great goals in your time, but how about that one from Coughlin?
Super goal. I think he scored from about 30 yards, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Initially, it was a great tackle from Dean, which broke to them on the edge of the box. They knocked it about quite well for a couple of minutes, and then, with nothing up, the guy suddenly decided to have a shot, bent it into Nigel's top corner.
Absolutely superb goal, yeah. And how he followed it?
We fought well, we got back into the game, and rightly so, we scored the equaliser. I think Dino crossed the ball to the far post. Tony, great header back, and there was Paul Wilkinson on to stick it home.
Kevin Moore, but shoulder keeps it in well. Craig. That'll be a corner if it goes. What a chance. Leaves it for Cumming on a break. Good ball to Spate. Now there's a chance of a shot. And a great shot by Spate and a great save. 31 minutes gone. now. Oh, it's remarkable. Spate takes over. Out to Ford. Ford in from McCartney, a chance for Grimsby. It's a very warm day, but that can't be any excuse. As Poskett to Craig. Good tackle by Crombie. McCartney out to shoulder. Coughlin. And that is a magnificent goal. Russell Coughlin. Right. Well, we're ready to go to the second half, and there's a happy-looking creature. I think it's Carlisle's mascot. He ought to be out there refereeing it. Back to Crombie. This will be the long centre in. Ford, go down to Wilkinson. To goal. McCartney, that's a neat ball. A chance. Another chance. Well, I've got to be honest, but it's the only way I can say it. That should have been there. First by shoulder and then by Poskett.
Beautiful draw against Carlisle United. It was home to Blackburn Rovers, and this match will be remembered for the penalty target involving Phil Bonneman. And Joe, you had one against Huddersfield. What about this one?
Yeah, well, my one against Huddersfield was different because I'd missed the first one and it was a chance for me to redeem myself. But Phil had three attempts at penalty to get a goal out of it. The first one, he told me that he stood cut on the ground and he lifted the ball, hit the bar. Luckily enough for him, the goalkeeper had moved. The second one he scored, did well to score it, and apparently Guy Henshaw had encroached, so the referee made him take it again. And then of course the pressure was really on. I mean, 3 penalties, what do you do with your third one? And he stood the test very well and stuck it away in the corner. I was pleased for him, mate.
And the overall game?
A great game, actually. Two teams very similar in style. The clubs that you could draw a parallel to, they come the same way. Small clubs, but challenge the big city clubs. We started off and looked as if we were really going to take them apart. We played really well. I was very pleased in the first half especially. But then in the second half they came out and made a game of it. And I mean, every time I was doing a live commentary on the radio, and every time I said something, there was a goal going in. So it was quite exciting. And a great game, finished up 3-2.
Dean Crombie been outstanding in his last 3 games. There's a chance for Ford, and a magnificent save by O'Keefe. What a start, Mark! And batches remarkably on the 6-yard box. Bound to see who is the player injured. It looks like Bobby C, I think. Well, there's one thing. Old Bobby will be in there where Angels fear to tread. And it looks serious. It's a stretcher job. Well, this is tragic. Bobby Cummins, whose testimonial year it is, just recovered from an injury to his foot. Now it's definitely a back injury, and it looks very, very serious. Well, Grimsby's substitute is Gary Lund, so I can't really see what the switch is going to be, unless they're going to take a gamble. But Bobby is just laid down there, and he just hasn't moved. I'm quite concerned about this. Dave Booth is coming to have a look. So this is terrible for the lad. At the moment, Gary Lund hasn't stripped off. Bobby's going off.